The power of family planning is agency for women. It's choice for women. It's control. It's autonomy. When you've got that tool in your hands, you can do so much more. I believe that women can do so much more if they're supported, if they've got the tools, if they exist in an environment that enables them to do just that. And family planning does just that.
The power of family planning is the power of choice. The power to choose whether and when to become pregnant is key for women and girls to claim their fundamental right to bodily autonomy.
I believe in the power of family planning. The power of family planning can deliver multiple outcomes. It can reduce maternal mortality by up to 44%, reduce infant and child mortality by up to 38%, empower women to make informed decisions, increase per capita per GDP between 31 to 65%, and together with girl education is the most powerful mitigation strategy for climate change. The power of family planning is in achieving multiple outcomes all at once.
The power of family planning, for me, is that great ability to make sure that women and girls realize their full potential. Individuals are able to determine the number and the size of their families, the number of children that they want, and how they want to space that. I think for me, it's one of the things that really a powerful tool at the individual level, at the household level, really being able to allow those decisions to be made. And for individuals and couples, knowing that there are tools that are available through modern contraceptive methods to be able to empower and equip them with that ability to make those decisions.
I feel the power of family planning is self-care and self-determination on what is good for you as a woman, and how are you projecting your own life as a woman in whatever you're doing. So I just feel it's self-care, and you determine, it's your own decision, the autonomy to decide. So that's, for me, that's the power of family planning, even though I'm beyond that age of I'm simply advocating for it. But as you can see, I am not a practicing, woman using contraceptives or anything. But with time, I just feel it's really about me as a woman, and how do I see myself 10 years from now? What do I really want to be, so that I'm not held back? Yeah.
The power of family planning is the world where gender equality is a reality, and where women is empowered to decide on her reproductive choices.
The power of family planning is endless possibilities. So not only for the individual, it frees women and girls from the burden of having an unwanted, unintended, or mistimed pregnancy. But it also allows for families to be able to properly take care of the children, send them to school, and make sure that they fulfill their potential.
The power of family planning is actually in its ability to change the lives of individuals, the lives of communities, the lives of whole nations for the better.
The power of family planning for me is that it has the potential to boomerang national and community development. Without family planning, I do not think there's going to be any development, because women's health is very much related to family planning, and family planning is so much in line with community development. In my work, I have seen so many women that if not because of family planning, they wouldn't have been able to be where they are. They wouldn't have been able to advance their careers, especially, and also contribute positively to the community as they are now. The power of family planning is really the power of development.
So family planning, I really consider it a superpower that gives women and men and couples the control that they need over that aspect of their lives, reproduction, so that they can make plans for all aspects of their lives. If they want to, more education, if they want to work, all those different things, it just gives them control.
So for me, when you ask me the power of family planning, I feel like the power of family planning is the empowerment. I think as a young person and as a woman, it has really, really empowered me in making decisions with regard to my reproductive health, whether I want to have babies, when I want to have babies, and even how I want to have babies. And I think that's very important, for me as a woman and where I come from.
Wow.
Look at this. This is amazing.
I know, it's wonderful.
Jeez. This is awesome. Wow. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where in the world you are tuning in from. If you're with us here in Thailand, it's good afternoon. My name is Victoria Rubadiri. I'm a broadcast journalist from Nairobi, Kenya. Super excited to be here and join in the critical conversations that we'll be having here over the next couple of days. This particular forum, I have to say, guys, is extremely personal for me, especially when we talk about teen pregnancy. So I'm a teen mom, or used to be a teen mom, and that was 18 years ago. And when you kind of look at the scope of my story, how now I have the power and the agency to think about when to have my family, that's what millions of young women do not have. And we saw the disruption that COVID caused about 2 years ago. 12 million women and girls did not have access to healthcare. And as a result, 1.4 million of them had unplanned pregnancies. So we need to kind of shift that. And I hope the conversations that we have throughout the next couple of days will begin that action.
Wow, let's clap for Rubadiri here. This is amazing. It's an honor to be here. My name is Andrew Chamagero. I'm from Uganda. And that means I'm a neighbor to Vicky here. And this, to me, means male engagement. From wherever you're watching from, it's high time we have the men and the boys part of the conversation. In all the conversations we've actually had time and again, the programmatic and catalytic approaches have not been addressing the man so much. We're always talking about the girl, the woman, the girl. And I'm like, yo, the men are right here. We are the ones who, we're part of the ecosystem. So for me, this conversation and the entire conference, it's about how do we bridge the gap and we make sure the entire ecosystem is actually aligned. The men are part of the conversation. The men are participating in the conversation, not just being part of it, but participating in the conversation. And while you're talking about family planning, it means, can a man take a shot for a woman? Like, can I take vasectomy for a woman? That she doesn't need to take pills and all that, but it's just about me to take a vasectomy or to take a pill, a male pill, family planning pill, just for my wife, just to make sure things work. And in the juxtaposition for Africa, for me, I look at this entire conversation as a development model. Family planning, it's not about the health, it's about the economic and the development aspects that are attached to it if we're going to address the SDGs as aligned by the United Nations. So it's very humbling to be here. And I'm very excited to be next to Ntanda. How are you? How you doing?
I'm good, Andrew. How are you?
You
All
look
right.
amazing.
Thank you.
Yay.
I'm excited to be joining Andrew and my colleague. Actually, we're all East Africans here, which is really, really
know.
Yes,
amazing.
we are.
Yes. I'm glad to be joining them and having this conversation here. My name is Ntanda Mandui. I am a digital media specialist, but my background is in economics and demography. So population studies is very, very important to me. My research in undergrad was actually on the unmet need for family planning in Malawi. That means there's people who want family planning, but they don't have access to it. And there was so many reasons for it. Some of the reasons being that women didn't have the empowerment to be able to actually to have family planning. Some things you don't even consider. They want to have family planning, but for reasons like their husbands are stopping them, they don't have access. So these conversations are very important. Being a digital media specialist, my specific passion is that we get these conversations going on online. So if you are joining us online, welcome, join the conversations. Our hashtags are FP for all, FPNN, ICFP 2022. Join the conversation. Tell us what you think. Tell us what we should be talking about. Let's carry the conversation forward and let's actually have impact. Back to you, Vicky.
I just can't wait to hear the feedback from the other side of the world. And if you want us, the anchors of this conversation, by the way, for starters, let's clap for FPNN. This is the first time we're having this idea of the FPNN, the Family Planning News Network. So wherever you're watching this from, it's not a conversation that is just going to stop today.
Right.
It's a conversation that's going to be going on. The ones in Latin America, in Asia, we have those in America, we have those in Africa, and the ones in Pattaya here.
Yes.
The ones in Pattaya who came physically. Look, I'm super excited because we saw what COVID did. It isolated us. We wanted to come together. We wanted to congregate. We wanted to speak, feel, see each other. And that's what we get to do here in Pattaya. The weather has been amazing, save for a bit of rain here and there, but it won't stop the conversations. And this is fantastic because we'll give you updates, of course, on all of the tracks from the conferences and the conversations that we'll be having over the next couple of days. And then some special interviews with some big newsmakers as well, some commitments that they have made. We'll hold them accountable. Some of the things that they said a couple of years back, are they up to task in terms of what they committed to? So it's going to get interesting. Keep it right here on FPNN.
Well, before we go, I want to drop it to Ntanda here. Tanda, with the commitments, what do you make of African leaders when it gets to the commitments with family planning?
It's a good question. I feel like when it comes to not just family planning, but all conversations, we say a lot. I mean, even all of us here, we're making commitments. We walk away and we say, I will do this and I will do that. And then we go back home and you never even remember. I mean, we made so many commitments in 2018. I don't know where we are. So, it's about holding ourselves accountable. At the end of the day, we are representing our countries. We're here representing people who are very vulnerable. They don't have access to these spaces. So let's make sure whatever we're committing to, whatever we're saying on the podium and say, I'm going to do this, let's follow through. And let's make sure we actually do what we say we're going to do.
Absolutely. We can't wait for you to be a part of the conversation. The leaders have made the commitments this Saturday morning, and we're part of that commitment. We saw what they said, the funding, the shifting of the funding to the financing of the countries. These conversations and much more are going to be coming up, but be a part of the conversation. Just log on to www.icfp.org and stream this conversation live. Not only that, the hashtag is ICFP2022. And if you just want to talk to the three of us, the hashtag is
FPNN.
There you have it. We'll be back shortly. Be a part of the conversation. See you in a bit.
Bye.
All right. You are live. We'll come back shortly.
Okay.
The power of family planning is agency for women. It's choice for women. It's control. It's autonomy. When you've got that tool in your hands, you can do so much more. I believe that women can do so much more if they're supported, if they've got the tools, if they exist in an environment that enables them to do just that. And family planning does just that.
The power of family planning is the power of choice. The power to choose whether and when to become pregnant is key for women and girls to claim their fundamental right to bodily autonomy.
I believe in the power of family planning.